Hi everyone! So I wanted to do kind of a bonus Christmas upload for you guys, and then I have another bonus upload coming this Saturday, so you guys are totally getting a ton of videos this week, which is great. So I wanted to kind of upload something on either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day for you guys, so for those of you who are having to just stay home and be by yourself, that you could at least just watch this and have some like fun Christmas content, I guess, just something to do to pass the time. I was watching beautbean's 3 Looks 1 palette using the Give Me Glow Christmas morning, and I got really inspired watching her. I just love her look. She just has such a way with making different colors come together, making all of her looks always look so different. Her videos are never same old, same old. I just really enjoy getting inspired by her content, so I thought I would kind of recreate one of the looks she did in that video for you guys today and show you how I would adapt it for my eye shape, which is obviously really different from her eye shape. Go Black Friday shopping on Give Me Glow's website, so I bought this Christmas morning palette right here. I also got the Vintage Rose palette, so I'll use that sometime later, but I wanted to use this for you guys. To start off, instead of using standard primer, I'm just gonna use my Too Faced setting spray. I've been using this a lot recently. When my skin is dry, setting spray is like my lifesaver, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this and just mist this all over my skin. And then I'm gonna take a dry SKINFOOD Wedge Puff and I'm gonna just pat it in. This will also have the side effect of kind of letting the sponge get damp. For foundation, I am going to be using this Estee Lauder foundation. I don't even think you can get it in America. I bought it when I went to China. I saw it in China and the name is Futurist Aqua Brilliance on the bottle. Obviously was very enticing. It was being marketed as like being just like a shiny foundation almost, like it would make your skin look like it was glistening and super hydrated. Hence the name, so I was really intrigued, and as it is not really something you can get in the States, I was like, well, if I'm gonna be in China and I was gonna be doing some pretty heavy shopping anyways for some stuff that I can't get here, I figured I'd just go ahead and get a bottle. A lot of Western brands are like really exorbitantly expensive in China, so this bottle was like almost over $50 US. Like for example, you can get Estee Lauder double wear here and it's like what, $42, and over in China if you try and get it you're paying almost $60 US. As you can see, it just really polishes my skin, I guess you could say. Okay, so my foundation is on, so I'm gonna go ahead and use concealer now. By the way, if you saw when I was putting on my foundation, you saw that my nails look so ridiculous. It's because my nails keep splitting and breaking, and so I got these tips off of Amazon, but like I've never done anything with my nails before. I tried to do it myself and I mean, yeah, they're pretty awful, but the goal was that I could protect my nail splits and let them grow so I can cut the breakage off and, you know, everything like that, and then I can slowly grow my natural nails back out and wear nail polish on my natural nails again. So purpose achieved, but like they look really jank, so I'm thinking I'm gonna buy the full nail forms, not just the tips. I'm gonna get like full nail forms, that way I can like cover my entire nail and not have to worry about my nails looking all bumpy and stuff. I'm just using my favorite concealer as usual. Beginning to get really sunny. That does a pretty good job covering, I could say. By the way, if you hear a sound like that sounds like a man 7 feet tall is snoring, that is actually my cat. He has feline herpes and he perpetually sounds congested, and one of the side effects is he snores like a truck. And I have a cat bed next to my makeup desk so that they'll stay on the bed and not go onto my desk, but the side effect is he really likes to sleep there sometimes, and when he is snoring, because he's basically right next to the microphone, it is going to pick up. I'm gonna try my best to scrub it, but if you hear it, just let him be. You know, he's been through a lot. We try our best and we just let him snore. If you ever wanted a YouTube video where I actually like formally talk about all of the cats I have, then just let me know. I'd totally be open to making one. Some of my cats have very interesting backstories. I know I could wake him up and move him, but like that's a horrible thing to do, so like, you know, we're not gonna move him, we're just gonna let him sleep. I'm gonna spray another spritz. I'm probably just gonna skip on the setting powder today because my skin is just so dry, so just using the brow blade as usual. I'm not gonna use any brow wax or brow cream or anything. I know it would definitely help and make it look better, but I'm like just sitting down quickly to film today, so I'm not really all here right now. So if you'll just, you know, we'll let my brows just relax for today. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer. I was gonna get the NYX glitter glue for this, but I never ended up doing so because I just haven't really gone out to do much for like this entire month. I've really only gone out to get like my groceries and stuff, so. Alright, so the sun is beginning to like shine directly in my face. I definitely would like to change my filming location eventually, but now is not that time, so for now I've just kind of drawn the curtain, so if the light has changed, that's why. So I'm following beautbean's video. I'm just kind of watching it while I'm, you know, I was just watching it just for a few seconds, and she starts off with this shade right here, this brown shade, and she just kind of uses that as her transition shade. She uses it all over the crease, but I'm probably just going to buff it over my entire eyelid. So I'll do that and I'll see what happens. The only tricky thing about the Fenty primer is that it's sticky, and I don't like to set my primer because I feel like that defeats the point of primer. So once I put shadow down, it's not going to blend super well, the first layer, because the primer really likes to hold on to eyeshadow, which is a good thing. But just something to keep in mind if you guys want to use this primer. It's really tacky. She also took this shade under her lower lash line, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. I know she's a really big fan of really like going ham on her lower lash line, so I won't be too precise. So there is my base color. It's a little more broadly laid out and blown out than with hers. Mostly just because I don't have a crease, but I think this is good. Okay, so next she's gonna take this shade here, Chimney, and she says she's using this in the outer corner crease and lower lash line, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it on the outer third of my eye and on my lower lash line as well. These shadows are fairly pigmented, as is the case for a lot of indie shadow formulas, so I'll just, kind of like she did, I'm just gonna build it up a little at a time, very slowly. I'm just kind of trying a variety of different brushes to see which one packs it on the way I want it to. My skin is pretty dry, so any patchiness that you might see, it's more likely due to my skin having dry patches that don't hold on to pigment as well. It's not really the shadow's fault in this case. So I have it connected like she did with hers. And now I just need to go back and start working on blending all of that. I'm gonna take more of Milk and Cookies and just kind of use that to try and help soften the edges a little bit. You can see the outer corner is kind of having some trouble there. So now I'm gonna start working on kind of blending that like I did on the other eye. Alright, so that eye went a little bit faster, probably because I know which brush I want to use, so I was able to kind of just get a much better start. Yeah, you can see the difference. That's okay though. Okay, so next what she is doing is she is taking Under the Tree and she's putting it on kind of like the front part of the inner half of her crease, and she actually brings it up above where she had put this shade all into her crease. So she had put this shade kind of all the way through towards the front, whereas I kept it on the outer half. And then after that she takes the shade Cozy Fire, which is right here, and she put that on the lower lash line, kind of the same way, so like green up here and red down here. I'm not really so sure how I'm gonna adapt this just because I don't have the same structure as she did, so I didn't take this color all the way through because that would have looked really strange. So I'm gonna what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Under the Tree and I'm going to put it on the inner third of my eye all the way just like right here, and then I'm gonna leave the middle blank because I presume that's where she's gonna put a metallic later. And then for Cozy Fire I can just do what she did. So we'll see how this goes. I don't want to put it all the way on my inner corner just because I presume there's going to be an inner corner highlight going in there eventually, so I'm really trying to just be as precise as possible. So I'm just using this really baby blender from Luxie That way I can put it down exactly where I want it. And then I'm really looking down to expose as much of my eyelid as possible. You can see I kind of brought it up to like how I had ever so slightly brought this in up here. So I'm doing the same with the green, where I just kind of very slowly do a line like this so that they meet, but I'm not looking like I've like painted in a fake crease. I'm like trying to like mimic the look of putting shadow through a crease without actually looking like I'm like trying to paint in a fake crease or anything. Obviously it's still gonna look to some degree like I now have like a weird fake crease situation going on, but just a little bit I find can still look okay. If you go overboard then it just looks really fake. Which, you know, just monolid problems, right? I'm just very slowly building up to full intensity, trying my best to keep control over where things are going. I definitely look a little strange right now, but I'm sure eventually it'll get fixed, right? This look was at the very end of her video, and it was kind of like her let's use as many shades in the palette as possible kind of a look, so I might be in over my head a little bit, but I still wanted to try it because it looked really pretty. Okay, so as you can see I've added that green in, and I've done my best to kind of adapt it to her style. Now I'm going to take Cozy Fire and I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line. And her justification for doing it this way was that way she can have red and green in the same eye look without actually putting them together, which creates a very odd color. And as somebody who has been through animation school, I can agree this was definitely a great approach. So I totally brought the color way too far down here. I'm gonna bring mine up, in my case, I'm gonna actually bring it up a little bit towards the end. Just because I didn't put any green at the end, I only put green in the inner part, so I'll just let the red kind of carry up and compensate so that it doesn't look too weird at the end. This particular shade is definitely super intense, so I over applied way too much on my other eye. That's why my lash line ended up looking so strange. Alright, so I blew the eyeshadow out a little further than I expected, but I think it looks fine. Alright, so next she actually does a cut crease, and she's going to use this shade on the top of her cut, and then she's going to use this shade for the rest of her lid. So I don't have, as I said, I don't really like to actually cut my crease. I just haven't gotten really all that great at it yet, so I'm still practicing. So I'm just going to take this and kind of freehand it myself without much of a base, and it'll end up looking a lot softer, but I think it'll still kind of get the idea. You can see that I'm just kind of freehanding it in myself. And it actually looks quite nice even with nothing, even just a dry brush, it actually looks really nice. Kind of symmetrical. She also kind of brings it in a little bit too, like she brings it down just ever so slightly. I'll also let it carry into my inner corner. I always personally imagine Santa's sleigh to be like a golden sleigh or like a wooden sleigh. So silver is interesting, but I guess I could see how his sleigh could be silver too. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Gifts Galore right here, and I'm gonna use that all over my lid. Ooh, this one picks up on the brush a lot better. I imagine it'll look even better with a finger, which I'll use my finger later to kind of really pack it on. I'm just using the brush to kind of pick out placement so that I can put it where I want it. It picked up really well on the brush, but it's not actually transferring from the brush to my eyelid. So right now the brush is looking really pretty, but my eyelid it's not at full opacity, so you can definitely see how glue helps. Alright, now I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna actually like really pack it on. It feels so great on my finger, so now you can really see how much it pops. And it goes from my finger to my eyelid really well. Very little is left on my finger. Alright, so this is what my eyes are looking like right now. So you can see it's really pretty. I'm gonna go back into Santa's sleigh and try and like just intensify it a little bit more. Yeah, now you can see it a lot better. Like that. Next, she's gonna take Stocking Stuffer, which is this red metallic up here, and she's putting that on the inner corner of her lower lash line. I personally love putting colorful metallics on my inner lower lash line, so I can get behind this. Lastly, she takes Pajamas and she puts this as her inner corner highlight. So she did actually end up using every single shade in this palette, which is pretty funny. I kind of already had Santa's sleigh going into my inner corner, so I'll just kind of lightly dust this on top. Highlighting the front of an epicanthic fold isn't exactly super easy, but you just kind of hit the front of it the best you can, and try not to drag it too far down unless you want it to meet with your lower lash line, which in this case I don't think I wanted to do that, so I'll just keep it up here. So after that, she actually ends up putting a gold eye pencil in her waterline. I don't really like putting stuff in my waterline, but for the sake of this video I'll do it. So I'm gonna be taking one of the ColourPop Creme Gel liners. I'm gonna use this one. It came in their holiday pack. I'll put this in my waterline. I've never used their formula before, so we'll see how well it does. Okay, so it didn't make too much of a difference in my case, but it's in now. You can kind of see a flash of it, I guess. She always wears really big and very fun false lashes. I personally, my eye shape just can't support false lashes that are as big and voluminous as her, so I'll just go with whatever pair suits me the best. I recently got these lashes from the House of Lashes $7 lashes for $35 sale, which of course is a pretty fabulous deal for House of Lashes. So I got these. I have been wanting the Patrick Ta and House of Lashes collaboration for like a few months now, ever since it first came out, so this sale was the perfect opportunity. I got like one or two of each kind, except for the individuals. I'm super excited. I finally just ended up passing along those garbage lashes to a family friend who was wanting some lashes and just wanted some cheap ones. I just was so tired of using them, I couldn't stand them anymore. Let me curl my lashes first, that would be helpful. My brain is just not with me today. I have holiday brain. I also just realized I might have forgotten to take my Adderall, which would explain a lot actually. So because I have so much metallic on my eyelids, it can definitely come off onto the eyelash curler. So I have a paper towel in my other hand, and I'm just wiping off my eyelash curler every single time I take it off my eye. Okay, now I can start working on applying these. Ooh, I can definitely already tell these are so much nicer, because the amount of pulling I had to do to get them off the container, it would ruin the other lashes that I was trying to use. But these are honestly, they're like not even, you couldn't even tell that I had been pulling and yanking at them. Oh, putting on lashes is hard. They're long, but they're not gonna overwhelm the look. You can still definitely see the eyeshadow, and especially on my smaller eye shape, they're not going like all the way up to my brow bone, which is like what I cannot wear lashes that do that. I would just look like a clown. I'm gonna use my usual mascara I'm using on my lower lash line. Once I get a lash lift again, I'm gonna definitely get the Too Faced mascara, not the Better Than Sex one, the other one. The Damn Girl mascara. I'm going to get that because I like how that looks a lot better than this one. And unlike the Better Than Sex mascara, that one doesn't flake as badly. I'm not trying to get like clumpy spider lower lashes, but I'm just trying to apply a nice generous coat so that you can at least see them. Alright, so this is how my eyes are looking. I like it a lot. And I think it adapted fairly well for my eye shape, honestly, so I approve, especially with these lashes. I'm so glad I can just stop using those bad lashes now, because those are honestly just making me hate lashes, and this is making me remember why I always used to love false lashes and would wear them so often. Move on to the rest of the face. She kind of had like she had blush, and she had a real nice like silvery highlight, and she had a darker lip, so I'm gonna kind of try my best to mimic that. She doesn't really have a true red, it's like a dark burgundy, almost like closer to plum. So I don't know if I have a color like that. I think I might. If I don't, then I'll just go with something red. but I'm gonna go ahead and put on kind of like try and mimic her blush and her highlight. I'm actually going to be using this loose blush from Bare Minerals. I've never shown this before. It's in the shade Daybreak, and I don't even know if they still make stuff like this anymore. This was given to me by my mom. When she would wear makeup for work, she literally just puts on mineral foundation and calls it a day, and then like a lip balm. So blush was, when she got this like in a gift with purchase thing, and she was like, I don't know what to do with this, here you go. So I have it. Of course, since it's loose, I like never use it, but I thought, I'll break it out for fun today. We'll see what we can do with it. It is a really nice color. It's just that I just almost never use loose pigments. So her blush was kind of hard to see in that video because I know her lighting, it's a little different. But it looked like she honestly didn't really have too much on, or like it was just not really in focus super much. So I'll take this and I'll apply it widely, but I'm gonna make sure that it's really, really well dispersed so that it's barely there. So you can see the difference already, but you can tell I have so little on. I don't actually have this color in a pressed version in my collection. Forgot what color it was. Now that I know what color it is, maybe I'll use it more. This is actually really pretty. It reminds me the most of my Patrick Ta blush, but it's still a little, it's still not quite as deep and cool as that one is. Most Bare Minerals stuff blends out really well, so as you can see, I'm having a pretty good time working with this. I'm just using a really loose, big, fluffy brush, and I'm like barely tickling the pigment, and then I make sure I tap off all that excess. And like, I didn't even powder my face, so you can see that it's not sticking to anything, and that when I blend it, it just blends, even though I have no powder to put so that it can blend on top of that. I didn't set my face at all. I'm trying my best to keep it kind of outside of the iris of my eye. I'm keeping it on the outer portion of my face, and then I'll put a little bit more on the very outside of my face, which is where I like to kind of concentrate it anyways. And then I'll just try and make both sides fairly symmetrical. That was a fun trip down memory lane because I definitely have had this blush for at least 3 years. And my mom has had it for probably even longer than that, but we all know powder products don't expire. Alright, so that's the cheeks. I'm gonna add the highlight now. I was gonna use a more silver highlight, but I kind of have like a gold inner corner highlight, and then I have like the silver going up here, so I kind of want to use like an in-between shade. So I'm gonna just bust out this Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighter palette, trying not to catch the glare too much. And I think I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's called Gleam, so I'll just take this. Just gonna slowly work it onto my cheeks. This highlighter is definitely on the more opaque, well, it's not really necessarily opaque, but it's very, very reflective, as you can see. However, you can really blend it out and tone it down, which I know when she was advertising these, she was like, wow, look how blinding these are, because she really likes having a very obvious and intense highlight, but because of the baked formula, these actually diffuse really nicely. If I want a more intense look, I have one of her loose highlighters. I use that. That you can see from space, so I don't use it very often, but I do have it and I like it. My favorite of hers is her Mood Light powder. That's probably my favorite. So I just kind of blended it all over where my face would naturally catch the light. But I'm gonna take an eyeshadow brush and use that to highlight the bridge of my nose. I don't really like to contour my nose because I have yet to find a way to do it without making it look just super obvious and ugly. So I just use highlighter instead to make my nose bridge look like it's higher and thinner. And then I use highlight to make my nose tip look a little less bold. I have this Kaja Cushy Vibe lip in chiffon. I got this in a holiday set last year. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I'll try something else. And I'm gonna go ahead and first line my lips with my favorite lip liner, the M Cosmetics one. I did moisturize my lips before this video with a Lano Lips, so it is extremely heavy duty, so my lips definitely are in much better shape today. As you can see, I really overline my lower lip much more than my top one. It really helps to make my chin look smaller. I know most people are like, don't ever overline your bottom lip, it's gonna look really strange. I don't really care. I'm just gonna use the Kaja now. So that's what the lip's looking like so far. I'll add something deeper on the center. So as you can see, it's not super deep yet, but I can fix that. I'm gonna take the tiniest amount of this very deep red Peri Para Ink Matte Blur tint, and I'm just gonna use that to ever so slightly deepen up the inside of my lips. I love this formula. I have it in almost every single color. So this is how my eyes are looking. I love it. I think I might start recreating like basically all of her looks. I have a ton of indie makeup now, pretty much thanks to her. And I think I'm gonna start using her videos to do looks with them. Here's how the lip's looking. It's a little more red than hers because I added that red in the center, but it kind of captures the overall vibe and it harmonizes really well with the eye look. And then you can see that the cheeks were left pretty blank, so that the eyes and the lips kind of take up the majority of the focus, and the cheeks are just there to just kind of fill in that space and to also have a really pretty highlight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. There is no fancy hair because my hair is awful. I need to wash it, so we're just gonna pretend my hair doesn't exist. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, as merry as it can possibly be. I hope this video kind of helps you guys pass the time for those of you who are not able to meet up with anybody. And I really hope next year is a better one for us. I'll do another bonus upload around New Year's, doing kind of a New Year's glitzy look. I kind of want to do something really smoky and black, like a shimmer on a black base kind of a thing, so I'll have that for you guys. I have another upload coming this Saturday. It's a really fun one. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you guys enjoy watching that too. So lots of stuff to help you guys pass the time. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you guys in the next video. Bye!